Good morning, Columbus, and welcome to another edition of From Our House to Your Home, the Remodeler Showcase. My name's Marty Reed. I'm your host, and the show is brought to you by Frog Hauling. It's getting to be that time of the year. If you want to clean your yard, your basement, your garage, think of Frog Hauling. And if you're a remodeling contractor and only the best product will do for your customer, think of Frog Hauling. We carry 5 different sizes of container, so you never pay for more container than you need. Well, if you listened to our show last week, one of the things I reminded you of is that the NARI Tour of Remodeled Homes is coming up. It's May 4th and May 5th, and it's always one of my favorite times of the year because I get to talk to all the remodelers that are involved in the show, and they come on and talk about what their projects are. And I would remind everybody, if you're thinking of a remodeling project, there's no better way to see the quality of work of these remodelers and to meet them. Because I always say one of the most important things is if you can't get along with your remodeler, don't do business with them, because remodeling is can be a long-term sort of project. And of course, we admit it can be disruptive. So make sure that the company that you're thinking about dealing with is someone that you can work with. Well, today we have 2 folks from Nicholson Builders, and they have 2 projects in the NARI Tour of Remodeled Homes, and we're going to talk about both of those projects. So if you're thinking of doing a kitchen room addition, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to find out what motivated their customers and kind of what they did. So guys, welcome. Now it's the time I get to put you on the spot. I'm going to give you your first introduction. These are band guys. Right?
Want to be rock stars.
They want to be rock stars when they're not doing remodeling and designing these fantastic projects. They're playing guitars and singing, but
Yeah, growing our hair long to cover my bald spot.
Well, one of us is growing their hair long. The other one, we don't have a chance.
John, it's all relative. This is called a bald spot. You still have hair you can comb. Okay, let's get the.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm so glad we did the show because, Marty, thank you for reminding me the tour is on the 4th and the 5th of May. I couldn't remember when it was. We're so busy.
That's the follow-on question. Are you going to be at the house that you...
I will. Now I know. I will be
Now
here.
you're ready to go.
Okay. Okay, I can tell already this is going to be a good show. But still, I'm putting you on the spot. Jeremy, you start. You introduce yourself.
All right. Thank you, Marty, for having us on here. I'm
Sure.
Jeremy with Nicholson Builders. And, well, just really thrilled to talk about a project we have in Upper Arlington, a kitchen addition and remodel, great family room remodel, and some additional functional space added to the house. Just really, really terrific space to have.
Your turn, big guy.
John Nicholson with Nicholson Builders. Jeremy forgot to tell you that he's known around the office as the world's greatest architect. That was his official title.
Thank
We're
on the
really
business card now.
really fortunate to have him with us. I was really just so excited when he joined Nicholson Builders years ago, and it has fostered a really intense creative package. We do a peer review on all our projects. These 2 projects had a lot of interactive peer review among the design staff, and while both of our names are associated with the final outcome, it was really developed collaboratively with some really high quality design staff. And we thank you for having us.
Very good. Prior to John, why don't you spend just a little bit of time, talk about Nicholson Builders. You're a design build firm, so that people that I can't imagine it aren't familiar with Nicholson Builders, they'll get kind of a bird's eye view of you folks.
We are a design build firm, but we have a unique aspect to our firm in that we have a strong passion also for the craft of architecture. We've employed architects, registered architects. We continue to pursue some cutting edge, out of the box, signature design projects where we can really ask our clients to enter into a process of questioning everything that they thought they understood about a kitchen, about a bathroom, about a room, and kind of go down a path with us to hopefully yield a product that was something that they never really imagined they could have. And I think that's the process of architecture, problem solving, and then the art is always the end result of, you know, a logical, analytical, problem-solving based process of architecture, interior design, and then construction. It's a natural outcome of that, and it's really exciting how we do it.
And I would say that is the proof in that is your firm has won multiple, too many to mention, multiple awards for design and the projects that you folks do. And it just speaks of how you approach the remodeling of someone's home.
Yeah, if I could just add to
Sure.
what you said, John, there's a common thread that is woven between not just the architects and the designers that are in-house, but it even goes in through our production team, and that we really are embracing a high level of design and architecture and giving someone something that is a little bit outside of the normal realm when they think of remodeling. And it really kind of pushes a boundary, pushes our clients to think a little bit outside the box, and it's really fruitful.
It's interesting because while initially architecture and design tend to be, people would view that as an ego-driven profession, and you're trying to glorify yourself
Right.
and your skills, and my design is so great. But we have a very unique culture, and I do not feel strong egos at Nicholson Builders, and Jeremy brought up such a great point. We will allow our design details to be altered and corrected and made stronger and better by our production guys in the field when they get those plans and we begin to tear the house apart to prepare to put it back together. They gain an understanding that sometimes we don't have, and it's exciting to have the ability at all levels through the company to affect that project with the single-minded focus. Making every project have something special about it.
Well, one of the things I would add to that, because I've seen your work and visited your projects, I love going to the tour of remodeled homes, is that what's really evident to me is the production people that you have are craftsmen. Because to pull off some of these projects that you have to have highly skilled craftsmen doing the work.
Yeah, certainly. We ask quite a bit of them. You know, when John or I are bouncing an idea off of ourselves on trace paper in the office, and then thinking about how are these guys going to put it together, and they come through. They come through in ways that are outside of the realm of thinking of even John and I.
Yeah.
It's really terrific.
Even better is when they help us building our guitar parts, because we both build guitar parts, and so we gain access to some incredible tools that we don't have.
Yeah.
CNC router.
And a line of thinking that allows us to
and
accomplish these things.
Input from these guys that have helped produce some spectacular guitars. I have a collection of really high-end Gibson guitars, and after working with Jeremy and myself, we both built some guitars, and I don't even touch those Gibsons hardly at all anymore. I'm playing yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Well, Gibson,
That's
and what's
the
the other
dream.
one?
How does
Martin.
our
Martin.
Yeah.
Right?
He's got them. He's got
Yeah.
them.
Got
We
the
got some
Martin,
Martins.
and-
Yep.
Okay, well,
So-
let's talk about the first project.
All right.
You have a project, it's 2625 Slate Run Road. And audience, I would tell you, go to the NARI website.
Did you say slate?
Yes.
Slate. Okay. Sound like you said slate run. Slate.
Okay, I have the comedy routine. Yeah, I'm kidding you. But go to the NARI website and you can take a look at this project. All of them, there are pictures of what we're going to be talking about today, so it'll give everyone an idea. Who wants to start? Tell us what the customer wanted, first of all. What was their motivation?
Well, I was a designer on this project, myself and Amy Statler, and it was a really exciting process because this was a contest. The client, I love when this happens, unbeknownst to me, the client had also hired another design firm. And I love, this has happened maybe 5 times in my career, and they don't tell you. And so ultimately, he asked for something that others said couldn't be done. He said, I want my kitchen to curve around me like I'm at a command center, a bridge of a ship or a spaceship. He's like, I want it curved around me. And the other firm that he hired said it couldn't be done. And I'm like, John, if you're willing to pay for it, it can be done. And he hung his hat on that line and just loved it. And we followed, and what he continued to ask for, I just reinforced, listen, if you're willing to pay for it, we can do it. So we have a curved secondary hanging soffit with lights in it. We have a curvilinear raised floor system that responds to some of the precedents of the home. We have taken the precedent is the pre-existing conditions that you see when you look at a building or enter a home, and you're looking for unique details that you can integrate into your project and capitalize so that your end result, your visual product, is a sum of all the parts of the whole house and integrates really well. And so this exquisite cherry paneling detail that existed throughout the house, 28-inch thick arched jambs that pass from room to room, just created this intense feeling for me of drama and mass and curve. And so we just took that and ran with that on paper, and it was a challenge. It was very difficult. It's very complicated to integrate rectangular appliances into curved forms. And we love the challenge, though, of those kind of problems.
Okay, as I said, audience, I can see, I have the pictures of this project in front of me. And one of the things, I will come to see this project and see you, Jim. This is, I'm going to call it, is that a dining area?
That's the dining area.
And this wall of windows is spectacular.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
It's, so the magic of that space is the scale. And then, but scale also, so there's drama, it's grandeur and drama as you enter there. But the challenge is, how do you bring that space back to the human scale? 8 foot, let's say, or 8 foot by 5 foot box so we introduced a light fixture that came down, 15 feet from the ceiling, and a very fixture to kind of reduce the scale in that space, and introduced another curve, that first curving object, and just draws it. There's motion in that space. It draws.
But talk about this wall of windows. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, that wall of windows was there, Marty. So
that's a good point.
I retrimmed it and I created a stunning stone curved planter all the way around it that has fossilized stone in it. The table that goes in there was designed for that space. The stone came from the bottom of the Indian Ocean. It's from the bottom of the sea. It's it's unreal.
Okay, we gotta take our first break, and then we're gonna talk about the next project that Nicholson. And this one is at 2625. It's in Upper Arlington, zip code 43220. We'll be right back. I cannot wait to see this.
The rest of the house is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Her mother lived in China, and she has a never-ending collection of amazing antiques, chests, vases, bowls, blah, 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 from China.
Unbelievable.
These two met in Vietnam. He was a doctor, and she was UNICEF or some relief worker. And
that was my next question. What's this guy do for the? Whoa.
He's retired. He's a retired surgeon, gastroenterological surgeon.
Oh, wow.
He was the head of the OSU gastroenterological surgery department.
Oh, okay.
And he spent 40 years at OSU, and super nice guy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the next one is the Clarion Court. Oh, same zip code. Oh,
Are these people?
Yeah.
These are people in the pharmaceutical business?
No,
Oh,
no, that was last year.
All right,
Insurance.
all right.
Comfortable
Okay.
kitchen,
Yeah.
dining, family room, and mudroom edition.
This has the stunning.
The little gem.
So
on the back
I'm
of
going
the
to chime
house.
in about that
Yeah.
because that was amazing.
How much time we have left, George?
That was about a 14-minute segment, so about another 14, 15 tops.
Okay, and we're at 35. Okay,
All right, ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Come down in 3, 2.
good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we're talking to Jeremy Little and John Nicholson about the projects that they have in the NARI tour of remodeled homes. And we talked about the first one. Now we're gonna talk about a project, 2571 Clarion Court in Upper Arlington, zip code 43220. And this one was a kitchen, dining room, family room, and mudroom addition. So Jeremy, I understand this is your project.
This
so
is my little baby.
what
Yeah.
what were these people
Yeah.
trying to accomplish?
Marty, I gotta be honest with
Yeah.
you. I have a fantasy that these folks would have come to me and said, I want my kitchen to wrap around me
Yeah, like the last
a
one.
console of the bridge of a ship.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that wasn't their motivation. It didn't happen. It
Okay.
didn't happen. So maybe for the next one. No, there
But
needs.
they said we want a stunning room addition with
They
an
did.
eyebrow window.
They
It's
did. They
amazing.
had
I
their
can't believe-
motivations.
I can't believe he pulled this off.
Yeah, we're twofold. One, simply we need more space. I mean, that's common. We're out of space. It has to function really well, and it has to be beautiful. They wanted true architecture and design on their home, and there's a lot of things that you can do. When that's laid out in front of you.
Kind of an open ticket.
It's a little bit of an open ticket. We didn't have a great, 3-story wall of windows to play off of. We had to create our own. We had to
Okay.
create our own little elements onto this home, and I think we pulled it off pretty well. Primarily, what we did was we blew out the back of the house, half of the back. We opened it up completely as a full brick house, so we had to support everything up above, and we bumped out kitchen, bumped out dining space, added mudroom and another bathroom on the back. And all of this is occurring on the back of the home, which is where the family spends a lot of time outside. And we needed to create something that when they're outside looking back at their home, it feels like the front of their house. And so the dining room component really evolved through a couple of iterations, of which John was really instrumental in sort of reviewing and doing some internal critique with, into this nice little gem. And the scalar proportions of it, both on the exterior and on the interior, create a beautiful hierarchy between the kitchen, the family room, the dining space. Just, yeah.
Well, one of the things I think in remodeling, and if you would address this, is when people do room additions, a lot of times you can walk into a home and go, that's a room addition, but it doesn't quite fit.
Doesn't fit.
You have to, I always find that when you're doing something like this, you have to incorporate it into what exists in the house.
Mhm.
Is that what happened here?
It is. In fact, if you come out to the house, if we've got some good weather, let's go out back and take a look at how that integration happened from the outside and and adding a couple of unique components where it's an open floor plan, everything we did in the back, yet each room has an identical compartmentalization, even though it's open. So there's unique components.
Yeah.
The vaulted ceiling of that dining room, it really sets it apart from the living room, family room space, which we have a coffered ceiling in to kind of help bring that scale down, a little bit more intimate. And then it blends beautifully into kind of a wide open kitchen there. On the outside, blending materials together, getting a great match on the brick and keeping the house home, and allowing that dining room entry component really kind of stand alone, but still blend in with the house.
That dining room component, we in our intellectual and pretentious discussions of architectural terms around the office, he has attained the highly coveted defining term of nugget.
Nugget.
That's
It is.
Is that
Yeah.
what-
It is
you
a
get-
very
when you get
sought
a
after
nugget,
distinction.
a nugget or a gem, you have done it, and he has definitely got a nugget and a gem on this one. I was questioning the ability to integrate. It's a very complex roof form, and Jeremy just knocked it out of the park. We think so much about the scale, the proportion, the pitch, the contour, and because it makes it scale and proportion are
That's
critical.
90%
Yeah.
of the ingredients right there.
And this is, come see this, because you'll feel so comfortable in the space because of the scale. And then the way he subdivides the larger space with his details, his coffers, and just breaks it, further reduces that large scale down to the human scale. And it just makes you comfortable. Yeah.
Well, audience, I have the luxury of being able to look at pictures of this project, and I'm going to come here just to see the dining room ceiling, because it is. I can see it here. It is absolutely fantastic what you did there.
Marty, come for the
Sure.
dining room and stay for the rest.
Are you serving coffee and donuts?
We hope that after you come see it, you will be like, Jeremy, I have to have that at my house.
Oh,
That's right.
geez.
Yeah.
When can we start on design?
I live in a little condo.
We can work with the association.
I know you can work with whatever. Trust me, folks. I know. Like I said earlier, Nicholson Builders is on the top of my list of just unbelievable remodeling companies. And I don't care what kind of project you have or what you're thinking of doing to your home, give Nicholson Builders a call, because I think you said it well, John. I mean, the passion comes out in this discussion that we've had today. It's not like cookie cutter. I'm going to replace. You guys don't operate like that.
We still love it. We still love it, and after all these years, still believe the best project is still out there. We haven't done it yet. It's an awesome feeling.
Yeah,
We're
it is,
still-
because every project is unique, and it's in the way that it's formed. There's never a formula that we can just apply to the project to get it designed.
Okay.
We really appreciate your compliments too. We
Yeah,
don't.
thanks.
We take that very seriously. It's very gracious of you, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm telling the truth. As you know, I know a lot of remodel. Let me ask you this. I'm going to veer off the subject just for a minute here, but I think in general people need to understand what's going on in the remodeling marketplace today. If you're thinking about, I want a project done next month, forget it, okay? Kind of describe what the marketplace is out there. I mean, the remodeling industry has been on fire for a number of years. I think a lot of people, well, I'll speak for myself. I don't want to move. I just want to improve what I have. I like the location. I like where I'm at. This city has grown so much. I'm not one of those that wants to move north of I-270 and start. I like being inner city. I like where I live. What's the marketplace today? Let them know.
The marketplace is, if you want to move, you are going to experience anxiety and crisis,
Yeah.
because there's so much competition for that highly desirable home in a highly desirable neighborhood, which is what we ultimately all seem to want. And then, I mean, God forbid, we also have children that we want to place in a good school district.
Yeah.
You have no time to really carefully step back and analyze the choices available to you. You have to make almost an instantaneous purchase decision. So when faced with that kind of potential anxiety and stress, we're finding that couples and individuals would just rather enter into a long, carefully planned out, thoughtful design process to see and yield through employing skilled, seasoned design professionals.
And one of the things people need to know is, remodeling project
It is
done.
a long,
Time you meet with someone, it may be we can start it in 6 months, kind of thing.
correct. And very common, from the time I shake your hand at the initial meeting, I'll be shaking your hand a year later when we're done.
Yeah.
And sometimes longer.
Sometimes longer.
Yeah.
And really, the time is your best asset as a homeowner.
Yeah.
Take the time that's needed. These are large projects. There's a lot of detail that's invested in it on the design and on the construction side. And to not rush that process on either end really produces a much better product. And I've experienced that the stress level will go down if you give it the time that it needs to really go through the process, understand what's going to happen, and in the end, the results are terrific.
Well, there's an excitement too, if you've
Oh,
got time to think it out.
Yeah.
If you don't think out of remodeling, one of the things I learned, my wife and I, we raised 4 boys, and so we wanted to downsize, and we went into a condo. But we put together, I learned this, kind of an overall plan, so that I didn't have to say to people at the end of my remodeling, well, my style's eclectic, because it was a hodgepodge of stuff that kept changing. Okay,
I love that. That's my style too. Jeremy can testify. My home is very unique.
Yeah.
I'm not sure unique is
We-
the right word.
We welcome high-end Austrian pinball machines as art. Guitars, art. So the object, the celebration of the crafted object that someone else craft is something that I like to celebrate in the design process too, and showcase. I inventory my clients' special pieces, and I want to integrate them into our designs because they represent special memories to them and a design effort of someone else who had a lot of passion for the object they were creating.
I am in total agreement with you. I have a massive toy collection that goes back to the late 1800s.
Excellent.
And I display that, and I have a Gibraltar gas pump that
Oh.
sits in.
Oh,
You two
100%
are peas in a pod.
We're coming over for dinner. The problem is if I come over, I will offer you cash for that object because I have acquired some of my finest pieces from my clients while rummaging through their attic, their basement, and it's been a wonderful,
Do you
wonderful
know the
source.
term hoarder?
Yeah.
That's me.
He invented it.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
this. I still have my original train set, all of my little cars and trucks. I have a Mark's Army truck, 1951, the year I was born. Never will get rid of it.
Stunning.
Okay, anyways, we gotta wrap this up. Once again, the 2 projects, 2625 Slate Run Road, Upper Arlington, 2571 Clarion Court, Upper Arlington. So they're both in 43220. So people, you can go see both of them. And the NARI Tour Remodeled Homes is May 4th, May 5th. Just Google NARI or Trust NARI. You can buy the tickets. It's the cheapest entertainment. I think it's $10 to go see all these homes that are on the NARI tour. And there are 11 homes. Again, if you're thinking of remodeling, it's the best way to meet the remodelers, and it's the best way to actually see finished projects and the quality of work done by the remodelers. So, once again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Take care. Beautiful.